So, hey Dan, I really like the readings you're doing, but I haven't read any of your books. So, what is the White Wizard of Höfjar series about? Could you explain that to me, please?
I am so glad that you asked that question. The White Wizard of Höfjar deals with reincarnation. It's about conflicts of the past, now in the present. It's past secrets resurfacing, consequences of choices. It touches a little bit on nature versus nurture and the evolution of an ancient race. Will they evolve? Will they be crushed? What will happen? But the main conflict is two opposing agendas, personalities, goals. Who will win? What happens when your past life returns? Of course, there's a lot of war. War is ever present. It abounds internal, external, abroad. The prologue explains how the dragons became extinct. We journey into Tun's life. Later, her name is Drakunum. Later, you find she is the White Wizard of Höfjar. Okay, that is a spoiler. Sorry. I'm sure there's going to be more, so you can stop now. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Vibe high. The rest of you, Drakunum Tun was born with lucicism, with blue eyes never seen before by the Höfjarian elves. Höfjarian elves typically resemble the woods and the trees, the various shades of brown and tan, and trees have lighter colors. So yeah, they just resemble the trees, but most of their hair and eyes, browns, yellows, oranges. But nature colors, just no blue. No blue, no purple. So she starts off as a stain on the high-ranking Husumi family. She stands out. She has no builder abilities. Builder simply means that they can sing or hum to cause plants to grow, trees to grow, however they please. That's why they're called builders. They construct all the homes and the architects. So builders are sort of like architects. But they have lots of other uses. I mean, you can, put your imagination to uses to having plants to grow the way you want them to, and at speeds. The faster you are, the more esteemed you are. So there's a lot of pressure on poor Drakunum Tun because her father is also a war hero. So both of her parents have reputation. Actually, her cousin is a builder, and he's very good. Her aunt is a builder. The whole family is builders, and she is the black sheep. Only she's white, so sort of like the white sheep, black sheep. Yeah, you get it. So it's a lot of pressure, and as a result, she sort of develops a sort of severe personality. She's always striving and pushing to try to fit in, try to make herself feel necessary and important, because she doesn't. So in one of these late afternoons, she's attempting to be successful at something and failing miserably. She discovers that she can do magic. She has magical abilities. And she keeps it as a secret for a time, practicing harness. She's very severe. She keeps practicing, and she comes to the conclusion that once she exposes this grand ability. Oh, yes, by the way, magic is not common for Höfjarians. You might think that making plants grow is magical. They do not see it as magical. They do not have magical abilities other than affinity for animals and plants. That's it for them. But her abilities are more aligned with you would think of magic spells, conjuring, say, electricity and fire and ice, and these are some of the things that she's able to do. And she thinks that once she exposes her ability, that she is going to get all the praise and recognition that she is deserved. However, it does not work out that way. some of the culture Höfjarians are split. Some of them are very impressed with her abilities, and the others further think she's an abomination, and she doesn't belong with them because she's white. She has no ability to do anything. She can't do anything, and she does magic, so she's not really one of us. Another thing she discovers is a big secret in Höfjar. She discovers an egg. Not just any egg. Big, giant dragon egg. And she realizes there's a lot of secrets. And as her power grows with her magic, she is discovering more and more that they have a lot of secrets. And she's learning about this. The book also delves into relationships with family. A lot of times they're strained. Like relationship with her mother, Fafnir, her uncle, who was also her guardian, her cousin, who picks on her incessantly. Of course, he's very famous for being a prankster, usually the commoners. But one thing that you do see, though, the Husamis do seem, when push comes to shove, they do seem to back each other. So even though Groan is horrible to Vian Groan is horrible to Cunham. Later on, you do see that he does stand by her side when she really needs it, and they do come together. So it's sort of like the inward squabblings of a normal family. But anyway, so the mother and her aunt are like the jewels. They're singing to the jewels of the whole forest. But her mother is very conniving, as you learn, and she's a manipulator and a schemer, and she is very worried because she has not gotten over the death of her husband. She doesn't want her young daughter to go run off into the military and get herself killed, which is what she thinks is going to happen. So she tries to protect her daughter by getting her daughter admitted into the council. It's very unorthodox to have a young person put into the council. You have to be old and wise, and she is none of that. She's young, impulsive, and the complete opposite of an old wise person meant for the council. But there it is, and so the whole thing really backfires on poor Victor Husami, Lady Ventor Husami. Yes, her schemes turn around on her because Draconum is accepted as a trainee, but then sent out to do a dangerous mission of finding dragons. Why finding dragons? Well, because as it turns out, they were keeping the egg in secret because they promised the dragons to keep it. When all the dragons were being wiped off the planet, they were helping the dragons in secret. So they're sure, Fafnir is sure, that there are still dragons around. So the dragons are not extinct. So you find out now that the dragons are not extinct. They are some still alive. In particular, this one egg they want to give to a dragon to raise it, because if you don't raise a baby dragon, it's just like any other animal, and it doesn't learn to have the special abilities that dragons are known for having, and the intellect that dragons are known to have. So she's sent out to go find the dragon. However, it's not like she really finds the dragon, because as it turns out, the dragon has already been keeping an eye on her. Because you see this special sense that she has, that she can pick up on dragons and dragon eggs. Well, it works the other way too. So the dragon can sense her, and it already knows where the egg is, and it knows about her, and she knows about it. So she does what she's supposed to do. She tries to initiate conversation with the dragon. But here in this story, dragons are a bit arrogant, and Draconum Ton is a bit arrogant. So you have this old, arrogant dragon who feels like it owns the place, and you have this young, upstart, arrogant elf who is just a spitfire and arrogant, and it doesn't go well. So her and her best friend Liuf are lucky to survive and end up on an island, stranded out in the middle of nowhere, which is another big thing because Höfjarians don't leave. And they do learn about other secrets that the council was hearing because they were brought up to believe that they cannot exist in the other parts of the world, that they would die. So here they are. They're not dying. They're not in Höfjar. They're stranded, and then they get kidnapped by pirates. So the adventure goes on and on and on. Of course, you see she's still arrogant and thinks she can do more than she can. And she tries to overtake the captain, which proves to be too much for her. However, she's a little bit racist against humans because of the stories about her father, and they have the Nepaltamorian raiders who are trying to come on to the Höfjarian land. So they have this conflict that's ongoing in the background while the story is going. So you have this conflict of the Nepaltamorians constantly trying to invade. So she doesn't really see people in a good light. But luckily, Liuf, her best friend, realizes that these are prisoners and they should probably let them go, and convinces Jacqueline to let them go. And she does, and they are the reason that she does not remain captive and her friend lives, because it is ultimately the escaped prisoners that they let free that helped them, enabled them to conquer the dreadful pirate who was a pretty nasty foe. Anyway, so they end up commandeering the ship. Jacqueline starts to socialize with humans, realizing the error of her ideals, the error of her thinking that all humans were the same. She actually kind of bonds with this young human boy, and she can't understand why. And then she breaks a bunch of rules in Höfjar. She continues to break rules anyway. She's, a privileged shithead. It's no other way to say it. Yeah. So they end up in Tundran. Tundran is like the land of the tall humans, because some of them are tall humans and they want to go home after being held captive by this pirate. And so they relay the information to the authorities, and she wants to stay. She wants to learn their language. She wants to learn about their culture and learn a little bit more about the foreign people, because she realizes she has no idea. And of course she gets kidnapped because the first ones are very excited. Like I said, magic is here, but magic is not very commonplace, and they want to convince her. They think that she would be easy to side with their side of the story, because they're in a civil war as well, the Tundrans and the Fristrans. So anyway, she escapes being captured by the Fristrans. She finds herself in the home of a necromancer. Of course, can we say curiosity killed the elf? Well, almost. This little arrogant elf, overconfident, was only saved by her natural affinity to plants, and does learn quickly the secrets of summoning dead bodies. Yes, this seems a little bit kind of something not a really nature-loving elf would do. And she does also rescue a soul-trapping crystal. And later on down the line, they learn how to free the soul, because it is a very horrible thing, and so that's a big thing. You get to see a lot of stuff about that, how she figures it out. So she breaks a lot of rules, and she has like a strained relationship with the person here. Her dreams, as she excels in her magic abilities, her dreams worsen. Ollie goes missing. She attracts a dragon to the human city with her mere presence. Yes, that dragons know where you are. If you're a dragon, you know where other dragons are. You can't hide. You can turn invisible, but they know you're there. So that is something to question too. Why is this elf able to sense dragons and dragons able to sense her? That is a good question. So, Ollie missing. Of course, she foolhardily runs onto a suicide mission to go try to save poor Ollie. And the only reason she survived is because she happened to save some wolves. And the wolves returned the favor and saved her in turn. So now she's alive because of wolves. And the dragon attacking the city. There's a lot of people who die, including one of her new friends, Naga, a horse that she rescued from being lunch meat. But in the end, the dragon makes the horse lunch meat anyway. Lou becomes the dragon rider and slayer. Very interesting, fun events that happened there. So, there's also a love interest. Yes, the dragon voice in her head, she's already realized it's a dragon of the past. The voice is talking to her. First it was dreams, now it's voices, and they're having arguments back and forth. Well, the dragon voice in her head convinces her to drink dragon's blood. Yes, a vegan elf drinking dragon's blood. So she's drinking this blood, and the elf that she's so enamored with walks up and sees this very awkward and embarrassing moment. Yes, he seems to still like her anyway, because he continues to talk and flirt with her. So Dree goes home and gets into trouble with breaking all kinds of rules and being careless, but she has so many solutions, like getting the elves back together and making contact and learning about the other people and making alliances, that she is actually made a full member of the council. She's devastated. I mean, who would not? Her mother wins, right? But her mother wanted to be on the council. Now she's on the council. So, and yeah, she did realize it was her mother. So there's conflicts in there. In her defeat, though, she is gifted with a staff which allows her instant access to, like, the fifth dimension, where she can enter the Höfjar as a whole, the collective. Thus, it's called the Schukalig. So, thus, the transition into Book 2, the collective. So we learn more about this collective. All of the elves and this weird staff that you can enter into the collective. So, what will Dree do now? I say Dree, Draconum Ton, it's kind of like a nickname. So what will Dree do now that her mom has cursed her dream? I mean, she's stuck on the council. She's not going into the military. She's not going to be, that's what she wants, what she wanted more than anything she cannot do. So what about the Nepal-Timor, the invasion that's been ongoing? That becomes more in the forefront in Book 2. Also, you have the Nedenjar, which is vaguely mentioned. The Nedenjar and the dragon egg and the dragons are very closely aligned. There's a big relationship until they all go hand in hand. So you have the Nedenjar and the dragon conflict right there. Where is the dragon? I mean, that's another thing too. She had this conflict with the dragon. The dragon disappeared, but it's not gonna stay away. It feels entitled here, and they still have the egg or the baby dragon. So they have to anticipate the dragon returning. But is there more? I mean, they found 2 so far. So, and an egg. So there's probably more dragons. So will Höfjar be destroyed by the Nedenjar and the Nepal-Timorians and the dragons? Will the elves now reach out to the Grammati elves and the Madur elves? Will they team up? Will they now have somebody on their side? Some allies? Will they be a friend of the Tundrans now? Will they have a regular contact? I mean, there's a lot of things that you have to question. And what is this Schukalig? It's so interesting. So, stay tuned for some more reading. And thank you for listening to my explanation.
Well, Deanne, You just told me synopsis. You didn't really tell me what the series was, but thank you. So now I guess I could just go read book 2?
Fuck. Well, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Until next time, we'll do some more fun stuff. Remember, leave some comment suggestions. Thank you. Bye-bye.